Hey everyone, it's Dave Berman from ManifestPositivity.org. Had a very exciting and fulfilling day today, and I want to share a couple of quick anecdotes that weave together a few of the terms that you'll find in the glossary at ManifestPositivity.org. So this is a glossary spotlight on pronoia, yes and the least you can do. So yesterday I heard from my friend Mark Nipper from Veterans for Peace and the Veteran Spirit Program at Inkopah. He told me about the Contagious Love Experiment. This is two veterans of the Iraq War, Josh and John, who are traveling across the country by bicycle, talking about the power of love trumping war. And their message of peace all across the country, coming through my town of Eureka, California on October 31st. And Mark said, can we get these guys a place to stay and some place to do an event? And I said, well, yes, and I want to help. So the least I could do was offer to put them up at my house and to arrange for some space to do this event over at the Ink People, which is an arts and cultural incubator that has accepted Manifest Positivity into their Dream Maker program, which means Manifest Positivity is now a nonprofit. And so really it was the least I could do to say yes and make these arrangements. Now for Josh and John, traveling to all these places where they're being greeted in similar manner with open arms and welcome crash space and places to do their public speaking, the universe is conspiring on their behalf. This is a blessing that just kind of fell into their lap, and that is pronoia. So I began doing some outreach, made a couple of phone calls. First was Martha Devine, told her about the event, and she said, yes, and if you make it a vegetarian potluck, I will be happy to bring a dish and help promote the event. So this is a vegetarian potluck now on October 31st, starting at 6:30 at the Ink People. My next phone call was to my friend Candace, and I got her voicemail, and at the end of telling her about the event, I said, I hope I'll see you real soon. It's been a while. Maybe we'll cross paths tonight at the Ani DeFranco show. And just a couple of moments later, she called me back and said, my God, I have a ticket for this Ani DeFranco show, and I had forgotten all about it. Your message totally made sure that I didn't miss this show, which I was otherwise going to miss. So kind of seems like the universe was conspiring on her behalf too. So pronoia action for Candace. I hope these examples are helpful for you in getting your head around what these terms mean. Look for them in continued use at Manifest Positivity, and check out the glossary at manifestpositivity.org for not only more on this, but a lot of the lingo that we'll be using repeatedly, particularly as we turn this website into an online TV talk show. And I'm helping to manifest that by stating my intention. So all this good stuff coming from a place of love. And I will wind it up here by just referring back about 6 weeks ago when I visited my friend Zach. He gave me crash space when I went down to the Bay Area for Power to the Peaceful. It was our reunion. We hadn't seen each other in years. It was the first time that I was meeting his wife and his two daughters. And he told me that he and one of his daughters play a game that also uses the phrase yes and. And so I have a little video of Zach talking about this, very, very charming, and I've been saving it for just the right time to weave it in. Here it is. Check it out at manifestpositivity.org. Peace.
So Lila and I have a game. Lila's my 6-year-old daughter, and our game is that we try and catch each other, not remembering to say the right words back when one of us says something specific. So the words that we say, the first person says are, guess what? And the other person has to say back, I love you. And if you say back, what? And then the person who said, guess what, says, I love you, before you're able to say, I love you. And sneak it in there, then they get a point. And we don't keep track of cumulative points, we just keep track of the point differential. I mean, cumulatively, it's probably like, she's up by 3, so it's probably like 16-13, something like that. But it has become a very fun game where we're constantly trying to tell these long stories to distract each other, and then out of nowhere say, guess what, sort of as part of the story where there's some moment of tension or confusion or distraction or puzzle to be solved in whatever story it is, and then like slip it in left field and then say, well, what? And then you, I love you and I got you. But if the person who is responding says, I love you, and does not get caught, right? So Lila says, guess what? And I just say back, I love you. She has to respond, yes, and keep on going, and keep on talking about whatever it was. So yes, and is what happens to continue on the game and conversation without any flow. And it's really fun because whenever one of us thinks we're about to catch the other person, but then the other person catches it back and tosses it back, and you have to say yes and. It's so much fun to say yes and. It's a little bittersweet because you're like, oh, I almost got you. But yes and, you know, and then the bear walked into the refrigerator. And that's the story of yes and. And this is her ukulele that I bought her. And she covered it with Hello Kitty stickers. Make sure you guys get a good shot of that. It's pretty awesome.